You guys seen this? My CPU cooler's RGB doesn't match the rest. And every time I change it, it goes back to this again. Why does it do that? It never used to do that. But I want you guys to experience this horror as well, because it's really annoying. Today we're going on another side quest. This one is a little different. We've had a lot of adventure games recently, and storytelling and all that kind of stuff, and I love those games, but I also love hard games, as you guys well know. We're going to jump into one of the Souls-like platformers today, a new one that came out this week called GRIME. This one's going to be hard. It's going to kick our asses, but I love that stuff. I absolutely adore it, and it's as weird and as creepy and as brutal as you guys probably expect it to be. Let's take a look at GRIME. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome you to GRIME, and you are going to get your ass pounded into the floor left and right in that truly glorious fashion that many of us appreciate from the Souls games. I'm a huge fan. I have done every Souls game at least twice. We did a Soulsborne marathon of every Souls game from Demon Souls to Sekiro last Christmas. I love Hollow Knight as well, which is the other big platformer version of a Souls-like game. There are several of them out there, and GRIME is looking to take up the mantle as one to be remembered. It is particularly good. I have a great fondness for this game. I've been thirsting for something to push my skill for quite some time now. We've done a lot of adventures and story-based games, so it's always nice to refresh the fingers and thumbs. I do recommend you play this with a controller. I have tried it out with a keyboard. It's fine, works just fine, but its controller is preferable. I personally use an Xbox One controller, but you know, whatever your preference is, it don't matter. I always like to start off side quests with the settings so you understand what you're looking at. Now, in true Souls-like fashion, I don't know, man. I have no idea. I have never been one to read the lore of all the... especially when it's ambiguous and it's not a straight-up tell you step-by-step what's going on here. What I can tell you is we're made of rock. We are a rock boy. We're known as the Carven. We have been carved particularly well, in fact. We're going to bump into lots of denizens of our world who are crafted out of stone, but they have misshapen heads, big legs, giant arms, maybe 20 arms, maybe they're entirely made of legs. And they're going to be a little bit jealous, actually, of how perfectly proportioned we are. We have reasonable-sized arms and legs and things like that, and they're going to be a bit pissed about it, which is fine. Whatever. That is fine. Where are we? We are in the underworld below the world pillar? Underworld pillar? We're a stony place, but it is all about... I can tell you from everybody who watched us play this, we do stream all the games that we play wherever possible, unless they're pre-release. And you can catch them on PG Stream Highlights, which is down below if you want to see more gameplay that I can show you in the side quest video. Is that it's been compared to Hollow Knight, Ori, Bloodborne, you name it, whatever sort of atmosphere you want, it's been compared to it. I can tell you, though, some settings made people uncomfortable. They're very dark, and this game is extraordinarily atmospheric. There's an area entirely made of teeth, which I might show you in the gameplay section, which people are like, I can't deal with this. This is too freaky. And as they tend to be constructing people, then that's not unsurprising. So let's get into the gameplay portion, because this is going to be a gameplay-heavy side quest, because of course in a Souls-like it's all about the gameplay. So, welcome to the world pillar. The world pillar, isn't it pretty? It's very pretty. Here is our fellow. We're actually at this large stone here, which is your bonfire type scenario, where you can level up and do things like that. Let's take a look at that. So we are made of stone. You can see we've got like a black hole for a head, and we're wielding a rather large axe. We can swap between two weapons. If I want to use my giant mace, I can do as well. Let's jump into here so you can see what's going on. These are a little bit, these are nicely spread around. Actually, not too bad. You kind of get that feel, which is a good thing. I'm playing this 9 hours into the game. I haven't finished it yet. But so far, you get the feel when one should be near. So they're appropriately marked for anybody who's played any of these kinds of games. So as we go here, we can see we can grow, which is level up, essentially. And we do this using mass. Mass is obviously dropped from enemies. Unlike the Souls games, when you die, you do not lose your mass, you maintain it. You do lose something called Ardor, we'll talk about in a second, but in terms of your actual mass, in order to get stronger, you don't lose that. So you can see across the top here, we actually have 5 pretty basic things to level up. We've got health, force, which is like stamina, Strength, obviously if you're using strength weapons like big two-handed axes and maces, probably pretty good. Dexterity, if you're using something like daggers or fist weapons, something like that. And we have another stat called Resonance. Now, I haven't got any Resonance yet, but I'm considering it. It's kind of a damage multiplier. Several of your weapons are modified by this. And you can actually see that down below. You'll see which stats affect your weapon. So you can see my Bellow Mace uses Strength and Resonance in order to boost its damage. My Maul Axe actually uses Strength, and it uses Dexterity, and it uses Resonance. So those, it'll tell you on the right-hand side there where you're benefiting from. In terms of using these stats. Now, below that, you'll actually see an entirely different menu here, and these are our traits. This is really interesting. So when we bump into enemies, we can straight up kill them, obviously. Or you could try and be a bit cleverer about it and use our parry/absorb ability. They call it repel, but it's essentially parrying their normal attacks. If you do this correctly and at the right time, you'll actually absorb the enemy into you, which is kind of on this theme of growing and becoming bigger. And once we do a certain amount of them, so you get these kind of mini missions. So we've got here this, like, crawler here. So we bumped into the crawler. Maybe we have to kill 2 or 3 of these, or maybe 8 of them. And if we do that with absorb, then we'll unlock a trait that we can add to our character as if we've learnt about them. So you invest into these using these red diamonds. As you can see, I've got 3 of them to spend. I also have 8 of these greenish orbs, these golden greenish orbs. Those are to respec. So if I wanted to swap them, I can do if I want to. Let's say I just found a new enemy that gave me an awesome trait. I might want to pick that up. So let's have a look at what I've picked up to get an idea of these things. So I picked up this Ancient Limb, where now when I repel, parry, it actually deals damage back to the enemy. That's crucially important on certain types of enemies that can't be absorbed straight away. They actually will survive it, and if you don't get them to a certain point, they can't be absorbed. So if you're just parrying them, they're not doing damage. This damage is quite nice. As you can see, it's also benefits from Resonance. If I took the Resonance trait, which is why I'm considering it, it would actually boost that damage. I also have Frantic, which allows me to detect its hidden areas, and there is tons of secrets in this game, guys. So many secrets that'll give you weapon upgrade materials. They might give you extra bosses. Secret bosses are a big thing in this game. Ones we found have actually given us new abilities for the character. Not via this trait system, just straight up new abilities. So well worth exploring. They're hard as balls, though. We'll show you one later on. Wretches, damage done is increased by up to 40% while above certain amounts of Ardor. So you get the idea. You get all these bonuses. More health, more stamina, ability to sneak. Heals while we do a successful absorb, things along those lines. Let's talk about Ardor for a second. So, as I said, when you die, you don't lose your mass. What you do is lose your Ardor. Now, you can see in the top left here, I have 2 things showing. So, those orange bars are my heal ability, my ability to heal myself. I can expend that at any time I want, but earning it back requires quite a bit of effort. I have to kill a lot of enemies or absorb a lot of enemies in order to gain health back. Now, upon killing and absorbing enemies, I will earn Ardor. You can see I have 8 Ardor right now, so not a lot. But that's because the Ardor system's a little bit wonky. I earn Ardor by successfully killing enemies. I lose Ardor by taking damage. Ardor's great. As you can see from those traits, it gives us all these extra damage bonuses and things like that. However, when you're fighting a boss, you're likely to die over and over again and take a lot of damage, which means your Ardor tends to drop to 0. And I am recording this after defeating a very heavy boss. So my Ardor is very low right now. You will build it up a lot while doing the trash enemies and exploring areas. If you're speedrunning the game, or you're used to the game and doing multiple playthroughs, you're likely to have a very high Ardor count because you already understand the boss patterns and things, which allows you to do a lot more damage, and you can have a lot more fun, like smashing through the game and things like that. So it does have a good effect. And it's also much less, we've got to remember this, it's much less punishing dying in this game than it is in other ones. You do get returned to here, so wherever your last checkpoint was, your last bonfire/stone, you will be returned to there, and that's really the only punishment, is getting back to the same area. Enemies do respawn, but not mini-boss enemies, of which there are lots of them. So you'll find, actually, once you've cleared through an area, it's pretty good to get back to where you were without being too harshly punished. Let's look over here. So you can see we do have different weapons. So I've got like twin blades, these twin fangs. Those are dexterity weapons. I'm using strength weapons. We've got fist weapons. We've got some ranged weapons in burst lanterns. We've got a number of consumables. All the typical stuff you would kind of expect. So gaining mass. So like consumable to gain more mass if we wanted to get some extra levels. We have grenades. We have things that increase our stamina regeneration for a certain amount of time. We have things that make our weapons a bit stronger for a small amount of time. Usual stuff you'd expect. You'll also notice armor. Armor is entirely cosmetic. There are no stats associated with it, and we were very fortunate to have the developers with us while we were streaming this. And they explained, yeah, armor is just so you can customize how you look. I personally quite like the cotton candy look. I'm the cotton candy man who's coming to get you. That's my job, is to come and get you that way. So we've got different kinds of gloves and things like that we can put with it. So it's quite nice. I could be a big tooth man if I want to be, which is kind of ridiculous. I could be a really edgy kind of guy, but yeah, for me, I'm the cotton candy man, and I'm coming to get you. That's my job as a cotton candy man. We also have these crystals in order to do weapon upgrades, so we'll show that now. Over here is this rather funky character. Isn't this gorgeous? It is, right? Absolutely gorgeous. This is our weapon upgrade, man. So I thought, considering I hadn't done this for a while, we probably should. We defeated the beast as expected. It says the weight of the stone in your possession. Yes, we killed the boss. Well done. You have fulfilled your end of the bargain. Aklan. I believe that's our name / species. I don't know. Now, before I deliver on mine, I wonder, did you enjoy it? I imagine you did. You feel good when you crush a foe. I will tell you now, I absolutely did, because that boss was really hard. When you end their existence to empower your own, don't you? I do not judge, Aklan. It is in your nature. You are a force. Someone must suffer the impacts. Yes. Well, enough of that. You may have already realized your purpose here on your own. I do not. I have no idea. After all, you have been doing it from the moment of your birth. Same as your kin, far above, beyond the sky. You can feel the insistent pull even from down here, can you not? Calling you, threatening us. To reach them, you must climb into the sky. The path can be found past the sealed barrier, far off to the right, adjacent the Carven's tilted palace. I can make a key, but I require material which can be found below the palace itself. Bring me the material, a strand of the child, and the path to the sky will be unlocked. Simple. Well, here's our world map. Alright, it's down there. Easy. Easy. I've not been anywhere near there yet, which is fine. But this is also going to upgrade our weapons, which is why I wanted to talk to Shidra here. Upgrade. Here we go. Choose wisely. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yes, my axe. I would like you to make my axe stronger. So your typical stuff you would expect. It costs some mass and a couple of the materials that we found. So we have no chunks. Unlucky. No chunks. That's fine. Thank you, Shidra. Appreciate it. And now we have a mission. Let's take a look at this world map, shall we? So it's actually really large, as you can see. But as in true Souls-like fashion, it's all very interconnected, which was really nice. So I started over here in the Weeping Cavity and moved through this desert over to the city of Lithic, then into Nervroot, where I am now. But then I got to go all the way down and back underneath, which is where I've been spending a lot of my time. And I'm actually doing this area right now called Gloom Nest, which I haven't explored yet. You can see some grayed out areas here to explore. I fully explored everywhere else. But of course, the game is now telling us that somewhere over here is stuff, which is fine, but not really want to show you. So let's talk about travel a little bit. So the travel in the game, there is fast travel, but it's done in a way that it's not really supposed to be your main way of dealing with fast travel. It's done via these routes, as you can see. You'll occasionally find them. Like, to give you an idea, again, I'm about 9 hours in. There's one here, one there, and one there. I've found 3 in 9 hours. So I can fast travel, but it's not really the main way of looping around. You're really supposed to be, going through the areas. What I will say is you can see plenty of these crystals / bonfire areas. They're very nicely spaced out. Okay, so you can tell when you're near one. It is hard. The game is pretty tough, but not unfair that I've noticed so far. Not unfair at all, which is always my worry with these kind of games, is they're a bit unfair. So let's fast travel somewhere so we can actually show you some combat. Let's go to Gloom Nest. Seems good. Because that's where we are right now. We're over in Gloom Nest. Oh, yes. Beautiful place, is it not? It is not at all. So basic stuff then. We've got jump. We don't have double jump yet. We have dash. We do have the ability to actually use like a force pull, which is quite nice. The ability to pull surfaces down to us, as it is a platform game. So this bomb, for example, these are bombs. So we can actually pull the bomb off there so we can get past it in a nice, safe-ish way, we could say. I'm particularly bad at moving the bombs. Talk about secret bosses then. So, secret bosses The ones I've done actually gave me a new ability. Nothing that would, like, break the game, but I got the ability to use my force pull to actually pull items to me, which made my life considerably easier when there's, like, certain platforming puzzles that are quite hard. I was able to just yoink the reward straight out of there. So there's a kind of a benefit to dealing with that. So here we are in Gloom Nest, and you can see the kind of environment changes between all these. So Feaster's Lair, for example, was full of teeth. Gloom Nest has got these weird hand statues. Now, I've not explored much here, so let's deal with this. So we've got some statue enemies here. Now, what you can see there is I actually absorbed his javelin via the parry ability. So if someone's doing ranged attacks, and there's creatures down there. What I love about this game is its use of light. The darkness is dark. And there's several games that have not been able to appropriately do darkness. So here's a little platforming puzzle for us. You can actually see that wall above us here. See on the other side, it's got this like white calcified look. That means we can smash back through there and create a shortcut. And a lot of the game in various areas has shortcuts. So what we can do is we can pull this, dash, hit that bomb away. I can pull this one away, and I can dash over here, and I can do that. And then I can not make it to that and die. Okay, I think I can make this. Hold on. My stubbornness is kicking in, and I failed again. All right, let's give it a good opportunity to show the heal at least then. So my heal I can use at any time, so I can press it now. You can see it used one of those orange bars, and it will heal me over time. In order to regen that orange bar, though, I have to kill or absorb quite a lot of enemies. So you do have to be careful with your heal. Also, if you take damage while you're healing, the heal will stop. In most cases. So you do have to be a little wary of when you decide to cast your heal. You can't just do what I've done in many games, to show you guys have as well, which is like spam heal. That's not going to work. Ooh, I'm not sure I can make that yet. That might require a double dash. What I found is if you come up against something where you're like, it doesn't look like I can deal with this, you probably can't. And you'll need to wait. It's one of the game's ways of... Oh, they hit me through there. Okay. That is a baneling, so that's going to explode. Oh, let's get rid of that. I can see killing that game. You can see how slowly the heal's refreshing. It's not, What is this? Is that going to respawn? I don't know what these enemies are. New areas always offered new enemies. And I jumped too close to that bomb. So we're probably going to die in a second, which is fine. Looks like we can go down here. I was checking if there's a secret. Yeah, we could jump through platforms in a Dead Cells fashion. Got a baneling below us, so let's knock it away. I would like to show you absorb, but absorbing explosives, as we've already noted, is not a good idea. There is loot down here, so let's bob down. See what's down here. Now that's a small gap, which means we might be able to dash through. We can. Which has given us some weapon upgrade material. Is it chunks? Shard, that's fine. Where does this go? Oh. You smell a boss? I smell a boss. Hello? Yeah. Okay. Right, I want you to note something here while I'm cowardly running away. If you see the health bar, see half of it is red, half of it is grey. So in the red section, if we pull off an absorb, we're actually going to be able to kill it outright at that point. But while it's in grey, we can't. Okay, now when it flashes yellow, that means I can use my force grip on it. I'm dead. Which is unfortunate. I don't think I clicked the checkpoint. Did it put me back all the way at the top? It did. Okay, that's fine. So that grey area means that you have to damage it into the red to be able to pull off the absorb. I can still parry it. That's fine. But it's only going to block the attack. It's not going to kill it. Now, if I pull off a parry while it's in its red HP, that means 100% I will kill it if I pull it off. Now, we saw a number of different attacks there. The yellow, if you see the yellow indicator, that means that I can use my force grab. And what you can see there is I could grab it and throw it into the floor in order to prevent it doing some attacks and make it a little bit vulnerable for a second. If it flashes red, that means I cannot parry that ability. Yeah? So that's one of the things you've got to watch out for is those things. Now, you can see the platforming is extraordinarily tight. Certainly once you've got used to an area and you kind of get the rhythm for it, you're able to pull off quite some decent attacks. We're going to go back and try and attack that thing. Now, luckily, it does tell us where it is. You see this sort of... It's a bunch of hands, but it looks kind of like a snowflake. That's the indicator of where you died. That's your corpse indicator. So even if you don't have a map, maps are uncovered by finding beacons in certain areas. So you might find yourself in an area where you haven't got the map yet. It's not too bad, because you can find your way back. It just won't have the actual platforms that you took. There is a crystal near here, so we'll tag the crystal in case we die again, but I think defeating a decent enemy is probably a good show for the video. Let's deal with this guy. All we have to do is parry his javelins and it'll throw them back at him. It's a mechanic that's also on a lot of bosses. It's the ability to absorb their throwing abilities. So there's a Baneling. To this guy. Let's just get rid of him. With new areas, like this is a brand new area, I don't know the enemies yet, so I'm a little wary of engaging in absorbing, if that makes sense. I don't want to get into too much absorbing, because you can often lead to your death. You kind of want to find a place when you're more comfortable. There's a stone up here. We did find a stone on a previous lurk through. Okay, here's the stone. So we can... Now we've checkpointed. So the enemies have respawned, but that's fine. That's absolutely fine. So let's work our way back to where our corpse was. We're going to have to go back around where we were, which is fine. Pull this bomb onto that one. Look at me. Huge brain. You see the hand... the sort of hand theme that goes on in this area. A little bit creepy. The atmosphere they generate in these games is pretty fantastic. So even being sent back to a considerably further away checkpoint, we're already back here. Alright, so it looks like we could avoid this guy. And now here's our corpse. What we can do is get our Arda back. See, I got 9 Arda for that. Alright, I think we can deal with this. We just avoid and then drag him into the floor, and we should be able to finish him off pretty simply. Unless I miss. Oh, I got him. It looks like we can keep him out. Watching my stamina here. Now, what can I actually parry here? I think I can parry his charge. Where is he? Oh, almost. I'm going to go for the parry so we can get the absorb. Let's throw a heal out. Alright. 1. Got him. And you can see that straight killed him. Now, obviously, off doing that, you can see on the left, Prey Hunt complete. So that was like a mini-boss enemy who was taught us a new trait. So we actually learned a new ability from killing that and absorbing it. So we could have straight up just like smashed it with our axe. That would have been fine too. But by pulling off that absorb, once it got into red health, we actually have a new trait for our character. So we can go check that right now and see exactly what we learned from doing it that way. And I love that choice. I really do love that choice that it gives us. So now we can go over here. Alright, so Flower Fighter. Increase force regeneration speed by 15%. That's stamina regen. That is a buy. I will take that right now. I will take 2 of those. That's fantastic. I'm actually super happy with those. So now we have greater stamina regen. And as you can imagine on boss fights in particular, the stamina regen is everything. So speaking of boss fights, let's take a look at a boss. So this boss you're seeing right here is one of the secret bosses in the game. And this is where it gets super difficult. Now, I will say that other people who had already played through the game, etc., did say we got here early. I'm not boosting my ego here. So we're a little underpowered for what you should be. I've also been kind of holding on to my... I've been holding on to my leveling, my mass. I hadn't leveled up for a while because I wasn't sure whether I wanted to go into resonance and things like that. Now you can see that they're very, very complex. Now this is a harder fight than, this is the hardest fight I've done so far. It took me probably 12 or 13 goes to actually bring this down, but a lot of it was exactly as you'd expect from any Souls-like experience. Pattern recognition, learning how it works, learning the rhythm and cadence of the fight in order to punish it. Where can I fit in absorbs? Because that means I can heal during the fight. If I manage to parry these certain attacks, I can pull off absorbs, gain some breath, and then be able to heal through the fight, giving it into this very strong gauntlet affair. Very complex fight, though, but super well animated and absolutely gorgeous. And that is exactly what you want out of a game like this. 100% what you want out of a game like this. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Grime. Super fun. Very much looking forward to whatever the next zone holds. I'm going to get back to playing it. I hope you like the look of it as well. And I'll see you in the next side quest, where we're probably going to be looking at GTFO, a hardcore, and I mean hardcore, I have already played it, hardcore, super challenging 4-player co-op horror game. We're playing that with a team, so it should be good. Thank you very much for listening, guys. And I'll see you again. Bye-bye. There it is. That thing is pretty gorgeous and hard as nails. It's been so fun. I'm actually going to jump back into it immediately after recording this. I'm enjoying it so much. Thank you for checking out Grime with us, and we've got a whole bunch of brand new games coming out with us next week, so I hope you stick around and check those out as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.